You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
our next guest that we'd like to welcome is Mr. Al Saunders with Louisa VDOT. He's going to help give us an update about the roads around Lake Anna in Louisa County. So please welcome Al for us. Is he here?
Hi there. Yeah, here he is. Good afternoon.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's good to see you. And thank you for including me and working me into your agenda today. I've got several things that I could offer. I don't know how much time that you've got left. I had a quick presentation that I could provide for the Louisa residency, an overview of our residency. Our latest monthly report that we provide to Louisa County and the boards of supervisors that provides project and traffic engineering updates. And I can give you a quick update on the roundabout projects that we have in the community underway and any other project questions that you may have. So where would you like me to start?
Yeah. The traffic circle is a great place to start. I know a lot of people have had questions about that, but everything that you just discussed would be helpful if you touch on at some point.
Well, let me share my screen real quick and see if I can make this work.
Thank you.
So. So real quick, you can let me know if you see my screen here. Right now, it's a black page.
Yes.
We can see your screen.
Okay, great. It's loading up. And now I'll start out. Yeah, my name is Alan Saunders. I'm the resident engineer in Louisa. Louisa residency, we cover 3 main counties, Fluvanna, Louisa, and Orange, but we also touch pieces of Goochland, Culpeper, Madison, and Spotsylvania counties. So we maintain roads in all of those as well. Well over 3,000 miles. We've got a staff of about 90 souls, cover probably a budget of about $12 million. In addition to roadway maintenance, we also have land use team here in the residency, and everything from private entrance requests, every home that's built that touches VDOT roadway, to developments, site plans, commercial entrances. We review every single one of those in partnership with the county for traffic impacts and changes. The Culpeper district, that VDOT is divided into 9 different districts. We're part of the Culpeper district. Culpeper district has 9 counties, and it's split up into 3 different residencies: the Charlottesville residency, the Warrenton residency, and the Louisa residency. We have 5 area headquarters that support the maintenance of the residency: Cuckoo, Palmyra, Zion Crossroads, Gordonsville, and Rhodesville have offices up there. Let me see if I can split this. We've also, I did reference area land use. We've got a business administration team, again, $12 million budget. We go through a lot of invoices and pay a lot of bills. So we've got a business team here. We have an engineering team that focuses on projects, both on large projects like the roundabouts, as well as traffic engineering requests. Every time you request a speed study or we do a safety study of an intersection or route, we've got an engineering team here. And then our maintenance administration team, which is the bulk of the residency. Things like snow, we plan for snow all year. And we also have a lot of our hired contract services, such as mowing. And then we focus a lot on my side. I spend a lot of time doing engineering evaluations with our engineering team, whether it's designing a culvert that needs to be replaced, coordinating with traffic engineering to look for a safety improvement, and then our larger projects like the roundabout there at Route 208 and 522. We do, this doesn't list all the counties, but we've got over 3,000 miles of roadway that we maintain. A lot of what we do, in addition to typical maintenance and large maintenance type projects, we have what we call our UPC projects, which are construction funded projects that our district helps us design. We plan for snow all year. We spend a few $1 million a year on something that if we waited a few days would wait, but would melt. But with VDOT's mission, we keep Virginia moving. So we plan for between preparing equipment, ordering materials, practicing, identifying contractors, and then actually treating roads. We spend all year working on that. And let me hop over real quick and pull up the latest monthly report that we have here. So every month we provide, and I'm not sure if you can see that or not, I'm going to try to blow it up a little bit. Every month we provide a report to the county. In our county report, we provide a quick update. In Louisa County, we've got a little over 1,400 miles of roads spread across interstate primary and secondary routes. We do have several lane miles of I-64 that we're responsible for here in Louisa. Smart Scale is the program that we use to apply for funding for large projects like the roundabout project at Ware's Crossroads. The localities apply for funding for safety improvements every other year. And this year, the county applied for funding for a roundabout at routes 15 and 250 at Zion Crossroads, and also some improvements at Ferncliff. Unfortunately, neither one of those projects are currently in the recommended funding scenario. Doesn't mean that they're not good projects. It just means that there's not enough money to allocate to them. For projects, we do have underway, we've got our school bus road project here just east of the residency. We're realigning the northern section of school bus road on the 22208, and that should be done by the end of the year. Right now, it's not raining. Construction is moving forward on that one pretty well. Route 647, we've got Mountain Road closed in one section there at the South Anna, replacing the bridge over the South Anna, and that should be opened up soon in September. 255-22 roundabout. That project has just been advertised for construction plans. We look to our process, the advertisement and award process for VDOT takes about 4 to 6 months. We'll advertise the invitation for bids. We'll receive bids. We'll make presentations to the Commonwealth Transportation Board. They'll award the project. So it should be about 6 months as we get into late fall that project will actually get underway. And we're looking forward to that. In the Culpeper district, in every district, we really gauge a project's need by its location in the top 100 of safety improvements from a crash history. We get our crash data from the Department of Motor Vehicles. And the Route 255-22 intersection is the Louisa Residency's top 100 project. So we're really excited to get that under construction soon and get a roundabout there. Rolling Path Road, we have a rural rustic road program where we get specific funding each year that's allocated to the county to hard surface gravel roads. We review that with the county every year. We're in that secondary 6-year plan update process right now. The next project in the county secondary 6-year plan for us to hard surface is Rolling Path Road in Supervisor Barlow's district. Route 640 East Jack Jewett over Foster's Creek. Later this year, we're going to need to close that for a superstructure repair. Our 208-522 intersection, and I will go into that real briefly, and then I can answer any questions about that as I run through to the end here. The current schedule for that, we've passed the public hearing phase. Scoping's been closed on that project, which is an internal design step for us. We get together with the Federal Highway Administration. We identify the limits of the project and the goals of the project. They confirm that it meets the purpose and need of the funding that they're going to give us. And then the design advances formally. And then also we've got Route 701. We're also going to do a superstructure and substructure replacement on that as we get into 2023. It's a ways out. Our county report includes a lot of other smaller projects. The smaller projects are big wins for us because the funding for larger projects like the roundabout at 208 and 522, that funding is very limited. So at the residency level, we do have a nominal amount of funds that we use for safety improvements. And one of the safety improvements that we've recently completed was at the intersection of 719 and 522. And believe it or not, that took us over 24 months to coordinate and plan because it required a utility relocation, coordination with property owner to lay that slope back and improve sight distance. We look for little projects and needs around the communities that we serve to do things just like that. And those have a huge impact and we can control those. So I encourage you to contact our office. Anytime you pull up to an intersection, you have limited sight distance, you struggle seeing the stop sign and hit the intersection all of a sudden, using a low-cost countermeasure like an LED stop sign, $2,500 compared to a $3 or $4 million roundabout, we can get a lot of return on investment for those lower cost countermeasures and small projects around the community. Resurfacing. researching is something that we really struggle with because the funds that we receive for researching across all the communities that we serve is declining. That funding is allocated by a formula that's based on the roadway condition, the average daily traffic, whether it's greater than or less than 3,500. And we probably, this year, you note we get plant mix. We get a lot of requests in subdivisions for hot mix asphalt. And that is something that if we had a preference, we would hot mix asphalt everything. The surface treatment is a great low cost solution. It provides a layer to the roadway structure. It seals the pavement and extends its life, but we would much prefer plant mix. The problem with hot mix asphalt is it costs 10 times more than surface treatment. So you can see in Louisa County this year, we've got a combination of hot mix asphalt, what we call plant mix, and surface treatment for our resurfacing. We're the only hot mix asphalt that we're able to replace this year is on Interstate 64. We've got a little over 2 miles of that. And then surface treatment. Surface treatment at about $1 a square yard, we can make $424,000 go a long way. So we're going to surface treat 25 miles of county secondaries this year. And on VDOT's website, there's a handy resurfacing tool where you can log into the website. You can see all of the routes that need to be resurfaced that are in this year's resurfacing schedule and their status. So if you have any questions about that or want a link, it's in the county report, and you can always contact me to do that. Traffic engineering, we spend a lot of time with our district traffic engineer evaluating a lot of different needs across the county. Again, we get our crash history from the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's updated every year. And when we see crash patterns within the community at a curve, for example, we'll coordinate with traffic engineering to look at everything from pavement markings to edgeline rumble strips. Is there some other low-cost countermeasure that we can deploy? Can we open up sight distance? Do we need additional warning signs? And doing a speed study to look at if the speed limit itself is appropriate for a segment of roadway. The Code of Virginia really dictates to us how we do that to ensure that a speed limit is legitimate and can be enforced. And it is the 85th, technically it's the 85th percentile of the average speeds of the motorists that can safely travel along the roadway. So our traffic engineering group will come out and do a speed study. They'll measure traffic, they'll measure speeds, they'll do an evaluation, determine what speed, how much of the traffic can safely travel at a certain speed. And then if it's over or above the current speed limit, then VDOT is not going to lower the speed limit on that road unless there's a high enough crash history to warrant it. There's only one person within the Culpeper District that has the authority delegated from the Commissioner of Highways to alter a speed limit, and that is our district traffic engineer, Troy Austin. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But we receive requests for speed studies through our boards of supervisors, and then we get them in the queue. And we've got one group in the Culpeper District, and they handle the entire district, so it does take some time, but that's the process that we follow. I did mention the minor amount of funding that we get at the residency level. We call it County Safety and Operational Improvements, and that's where we can get sight distance, LED stop signs, and those things where we can evaluate and pay for those. Our maintenance crews, we have two area headquarters that take care of Louisa County. Zion Crossroads takes care of the western half of Louisa and then a portion of Fluvanna, and then our area headquarters down in Cuckoo. In Cuckoo, Dale Goodman is the superintendent, and then in Zion, Otis Hasher, the superintendent. And of all the positions that I've seen at VDOT, I've worked in 3 different districts and in the central office. That is by far the hardest, most dedicated job of any that I've ever witnessed. And they work very hard on many things that are frequently thankless. And any chance that you get to slow down and wave when you see our crews out into the roadway, please take the opportunity to do that. Our land use team here is another one that works very hard in supporting the county and the community. And that's a transparent function that a lot of folks don't think about, but every time there is a private entrance, coordinating with developers in the county to look for solutions. Every time we've got a new subdivision or a new commercial entity that's going in, our land use team led by Mark Wood, he's a great engineer. He's also a licensed land surveyor, and he and his team jump through their throat to keep up with all of the work that we've got going on across the 3 counties that we have. And right now that's a really good thing, and we'll do it. We'll keep, as long as the economy's booming, we're really excited to have that much work to do. And it won't last forever, but for the time being, we're thankful to see it because that means the economy is going. And now with that, I'll jump back up and see, since we're talking about the Lake Anna community, if we have any questions that I can answer about 28522. And a quick check-in with Chris too. Chris, just to see how I'm doing.
I think that you're doing fantastic, Al. We definitely appreciate you taking time from all the duties that you have to do, the many things that you do to help our community, as well as Louisa, which you've reminded us of. We definitely have a Lake Anna focus here, and we have some people that do have questions they'd like to ask of you, and I'll let Lindsay go ahead. And well, before Lindsay says that, I do want to note a note of positive that we found worth noting. If you've ever traveled home from the Cove on Route 719 or any place on 719, you know that that road is in dire need of repair. We know that, and I'm sure that's going to be done. But there was also a very difficult intersection with 719 and 522. And sight distance there was at best iffy when you wanted to make a left-hand turn and get out ahead of traffic. I'm happy to note that Al and his engineers and the planning staff over there have cut that bank down so that when you're trying to make a turn off of 719 onto 520, specifically the left-hand turn, it's much safer now. So that's a very good positive worth noting at the Lake Anna area.
Thank you, Chris. Seems like a little thing, but little projects like that are a big win for us. They take a lot of coordination behind the scenes to relocate utilities, to align the resources, to actually do the work. Many times we have to creep onto private property to do that work, which requires coordination with the landowner. In that instance, we also had some rock excavation that we had to overcome. But in many locations around the community, we're beginning to see the Louisa residency was opened in 2016, reopened. So it's taken us several years to get some of these projects lined up, and we're very thankful to finally begin to see the fruits of those years of effort at several different locations. But that's a key one, and we're not done there. I think that's a start. That intersection 719 and 522 has a high crash history. Trying to identify the right solution there is tough. That it's going to require some major excavation to lower that hump and lower the vertical curve so we can improve sight distance. For the time being, we were happy to get that done, and it's good news that you've gotten some positive feedback on that. Thank you.
We do have a couple questions for you, and I'm going to let Lindsay McClellan ask those.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got a couple of questions revolving around the dollar store that's going in on Kentucky Springs Road. And I'm just going to combine the two questions. They're asking, is there going to be an ingress egress lane, and will the flashing light turn to a red light over there for safety when people are coming in and out of an already busy intersection?
Well, let me answer the first question. I need to go back and look at the site plan that was approved to see if a right turn lane was required. Right now, it's my understanding that based on the traffic analysis that the developer's engineer performed, it did not trigger what we call the warrants for a left turn lane on 652, which is something that I was surprised for in several locations that we've had Dollar Generals. What we have, there's a protocol that's established by the Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, the MUTCD. And that lays out a series of steps and evaluations that an engineer performs when determining if a left turn lane is required at a location. And in that location, a left turn lane wasn't warranted. So by a center turn lane where traffic can get out of the way on 652 and turn left into the Dollar General, the site plan does not include that. The one question I had in the back of my mind was for traffic traveling up 652 towards Food Lion, if there was a right turn lane that allowed some deceleration on the right, and I'll check. I know that we've got several different tools that we can use. One of them is a larger apron and radii on both sides that allows traffic to quickly enter and exit with a lot of sight distance, but it did not trigger the warrants that require a left turn lane. So that's answer to question one. Question two, the flashing beacon, that is not going to alter between yellow and red. That will continue to flash yellow for the through traffic main line on 652, and then red to generate awareness about the stop condition along 700. So that's going to stay the same.
Okay, and then we have one other question. It says here, Belmont Road, just north of Billiards Bridge, had some repaving done recently. It was much needed, so that's great. But it looks like the areas at the intersection was avoided. Will those be redone, or are intersections avoided for a reason?
No, the intersections aren't avoided for a specific reason. If it's all based on dollars and pavement condition. And we've got a lot of areas where the pavement is really poor, but we also have a very limited amount of funding that we can use for that. A lot of the pavement that the community see that's going on now is actually patching that we're doing ahead of the resurfacing season. And we'll get out into an intersection if we need it. In that location, they started just on this side of that and moved, but the intersection itself, the superintendent determined that it wasn't required. And when the pavement deteriorated, again, we're triaging work. If we had our preference, our goal would be to touch every inch of pavement in the county once every 5 years. We try to do 20, our goal is to do 20% a year. And until all of our pavement conditions across the county are fair. VDOT has a map, the GIS best map, that actually shows the pavement conditions, and they were last rated across the entire county in 2019. And it's really interesting to see because you can look out on that and see all of the flashes in red across the county where the pavement is rated in very poor condition. But translating that back to the $400,000 that we receive annually for resurfacing, that it probably costs us somewhere in the neighborhood of $150,000, $175,000 to resurface and overlay a mile of roadway with hot mix asphalt. So that it just doesn't go very, $400,000 may seem like a lot when you're thinking about a driveway, but for the thousands of miles that we maintain in Louisa, it just doesn't go very far. So we triage our pavements and hit the worst of the worst, and then try to limp the others along until we can get them into the resurfacing cycle.
Well, Al, we really appreciate you taking your time today to give us some insight on what's going on with the roadways, to answer some specific questions that we had around the lake. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you don't mind, would you stop sharing your screen so that we can allow for the next?
I sure will. Yeah, thank you for including me, and please pass along my contact information. And if anyone needs anything, they can call anytime. Call or stop by the residency. We'd love to see you.
Thank you again.